This is Kathy from Gadgets Top 321, and in today's video I'm going to be taking a look at the setup in my passport size traveler's notebook. Actually, I'm going to be updating my setup because I'm almost done with the notebook that I have in it currently, and since I'm using J. Wild Ivy in my fountain pen, and I've discovered that I'm getting mixed results with how it behaves on different papers. So I've got some notebooks to test that ink in, see which notebook I'm going to go with next, and I've got a new little eraser to add to my setup. So let's start tearing it down and then we'll put it all back together. So I'm using a Pilot Prero with a fine nib, and I've just started using J. Wild Ivy. I had been using Oxford Blue before that, and I've got a little pocket New Testament that stays attached there nicely. The notebook that I'm currently using is a Moleskine Kahir, and I was pleasantly surprised, just discovered by accident, how fountain pen friendly this paper is. And I will go ahead. Now, it's been my experience, I haven't bought any new Moleskine notebooks in a while, but back when I did buy a few, I had mixed results with how the fountain pen ink behaved. But let me just show you with this one. And when I flip it over, beautiful. And I haven't discovered any fountain pen inks that bleed through this paper, and that was a surprise. So I'm almost done with this notebook. I've had this notebook in here for years. This was just a kind of a catch-all notebook, and that's basically what I'm using it for now, just recording. If an idea pops in my head, I'm getting older, I've discovered if I don't write it down immediately, like the what is it, Field Notes says, I'm not writing it down to remember it later, I'm writing it down to remember it now. I've kind of gotten to that point. So this is almost empty, and I've got the little pocket, zipper pocket, and I've got the craft pocket, and I've got this cool little Pilot Birdie switch. It's one of the tiniest little mechanical pencils I've ever seen. It works really well. It's got a metal construction, and it's called the Birdie switch because on the other end, instead of an eraser, it's got a little ballpoint pen. And I got this last summer. One of my students gave me a gift card, an Amazon gift card, and I picked this up and I love it. But since it doesn't have an eraser, I just came across this by accident. It's one of those things that you're looking for on jet pens when you're trying to get to your $25 limit so you can get free shipping. And I came across this little thin eraser, and I thought that would fit in there with my little Birdie switch. Let's see how that fits, and hopefully when we get it all together later, we'll see how well it stays in there. My little Birdie switch, I don't clip it on anything, just the friction of the book being held closed holds it in. So we'll see if it also holds the eraser in. Let's see. Now I want to see which notebook I'm going to replace it with. I've never used one of these Life notebooks, and I knew it was going to be smaller than the passport size notebooks, but look how tiny that is. If it does work with this pen and ink combination, we'll have to see how it looks in here because it's quite a bit smaller. And I also got some of these little Apica notebooks. They're just a hair taller, and I've been using the Moleskine notebook that I've been using is the size of a field notes, so I know these will fit okay. So let's do some writing samples. I'll start with the Noble Note, the Life Noble Note. It's a cream colored paper. Nice looking. It's stitch bound. And the paper, when I opened it up, is just super smooth. Let's see. Ooh, yeah, this feels nice. This feels very similar to the Rhodia paper. Maybe a little bit smoother. Let's see. No, they're about the same. All right. Not bad. That's nice looking. Let's see, and this is the original notebook, the Midori Notebook that came with my Traveler's Notebook originally. At the time, I didn't really use plain notebooks. Let's see. Try it out on the back page. Oh, this feels nice too. Let me see, is this, I think this is Tomoe River paper. The Tomoe River paper in my Hobonichi just didn't feel great, but this isn't bad. Yeah, that's a possibility. And finally, a little Apica notebook. The other two are plain notebooks. This one has lines in it. I like having lines, but yeah, this one's okay also. Now, I didn't check for bleed through with the other two. That one looks okay, so the Apica is a possibility. The little Life notebook. It's pretty thick paper. Yeah, no bleed through there. I like that cream. That's a nice, makes the ink look nice. And this was pretty thin paper. There's a little bit of, yeah, there's quite a bit of show through on this one. I think I'm going to choose between these two. Let's see. Let's see how the little Life notebook fits. I don't know. Well, since I've got a rubber band, that tends to hold it kind of snug. It just looks kind of comical. It's so tiny. I don't know. Well, that does look a little comical. think I like this apica. I think that's well, and the apica sticks out a little bit. Decisions. This one could almost fit inside there. Just throw it in if I needed to take it with me. I don't like this one sticking out. Well, let's try the original. I was kind of surprised. Maybe I just need to wiggle it around a little bit because these two are the same width. I'm surprised that this one's sticking out. Let's see how this fits. It sticks out a little bit, but the color of it makes it not so noticeable. Maybe that was the deal with the Moleskine notebook. Just the color of it, when it did stick out, didn't make it as noticeable. Okay. Well, let's get it all together and see if the eraser stays in there without falling out. I like that all of this attaches together. Now, I'm not really throwing it around too much. I do put it in my purse when I'm going somewhere, and it holds it together pretty securely. I'm not shaking it because, you know, if I shook it, it would come apart. But it looks like the eraser is staying in there, and the pencil's staying in, and the pen and the Bible stay attached. So I'm still not 100% sure which notebook I'm going to use, but I do know that they all work. They're all pleasant to use with this pen, and that's the main thing I was concerned about. So, if you found this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel.